Welcome to the Inspired by Adventure podcast, bringing you the adventure across the airwaves. Here's your host, Cole Watkins.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Inspired by Adventure podcast. My name is Cole, and thanks for joining us today. Today, we have a really interesting call for you. We are going to talk to DiveAssure. So DiveAssure is a leading travel insurance company, and they've been a great partner of ours from a long time now here at Aggressor. And we're happy to have Roy Pargerman on with us today. How are you doing?
Very good, Cole. How are you?
Good. Thank you for taking some time to talk to us. You know, with everything that's been going on in the world in the last year and a half, we're happy to finally start seeing some travelers coming. And I think DiveAssure is the perfect, security blanket that can, put an ease to mind to those people that are starting to, finally start traveling again. And I'm happy to have you guys as a big help in that.
Thank you for having us. We're happy to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So I got a list of questions here for you. Some basic general questions and some, COVID related questions. But first, why don't you just tell us a little bit about DiveAssure and what makes you guys a little bit different than the other travel insurances out there?
So DiveAssure has been around for over 20 years now. We focus on diving and travel insurance, and that's what we do. That's our specialty, and we focus on that. We offer a wide range of programs to cover the diver that needs just coverage for a weekend of diving, all the way to divers and travelers who travel more than once a year or 3 times or 4 times a year. We offer different levels of coverage to fit the needs of every diver, and our programs are offered worldwide to any nationality. As I said, diving insurance is basically medical coverage for diving accidents and everything that you need if you get injured while diving. To that, we add travel insurance, basically that covers you for travel, trip cancellations, trip interruptions, and non-diving related medical issues while traveling abroad. So that's what we do. We've over the years made our programs, enhanced our programs to fit the needs for divers. We learn from every case and every claim and see how we can make the programs better for divers so that they feel comfortable and secured when they're out diving. That's what we want to do, and that's what we have been doing for the past 20 years.
Okay, great. And how long have you been working there at DiveAssure?
I've been in DiveAssure since 2006, so I guess 15 years now. All right. And I've had the pleasure of working with Aggressor since. And like you said, we love working with you as well.
Okay, yeah. Seasoned veteran from diving for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and start asking some of the questions I got here. So one really interesting thing, this actually is probably the most interesting thing I have in my notes here, is that DiveAssure is the only company that offers Liveaboard Rider to their programs. What is unique about this, and how does it differ from regular travel insurance?
So regular travel insurance covers you for trip cancellations and interruptions and things like that could occur while you're traveling. Liveaboards by nature are a different type of trip because you have to reach a destination, and then you reach that destination, you board the liveaboard, and you're out for 7 days. During those 7 days, a lot of things can happen, and during the years, we realized that our general travel insurance programs didn't offer sufficient coverage for things that happen on liveaboards. For example, on day 3 of the liveaboard, there's a diving accident to another diver. The boat, of course, cancels diving that day, and they're dealing with the emergency. People who have our Liveaboard Rider will be able to claim a lost diving day or lost diving days due to that reason. Wow. Another thing could be mechanical breakdowns that prevent you from being able to dive. Yeah. Of course, and probably the most common one is bad weather. Day 3, day 4, you cannot dive due to bad weather. You're, of course, still enjoying the time on the boat with good food and good company, yeah, but you can't dive. So for that, the Liveaboard Rider offers coverage for lost diving days. Wow. Other things will be comprehensive trip cancellation for liveaboard trips. Again, for scenarios that are usually not covered by travel insurance, such as cancellations that occur while they're en route to your destination, and things like that. So basically, we took a general travel insurance policy and packed it with additional benefits to cover specific scenarios to liveaboard trips.
That's extremely smart that you guys did that. That especially with the bad weather, because I've had a time where I had to miss one day just because of poor weather, and that's what I prefer, because I'd rather be safe on the boat than try anything. But that's really cool that the DiveAssure offers that Liveaboard Rider program.
Yep, and it's a program that can be added to any of our travel insurance programs. It's actually very popular. I think we see a very high percentage of people who going on liveaboard trips adding that additional peace of mind to their coverage.
Sure. Okay. All right. So Aggressor has so many international clientele travelers. Do you offer dive, accident, and travel insurance coverage to international travelers?
Yes, our programs are available to all nationalities under one website through one company. Everything is done through us. We're not going to send you over to a different provider or anything like that. Everything is handled through DiveAssure, through our customer service, and through our 24/7 emergency call center. It's all under one umbrella.
Okay. Now, how is dive, accident, and trip insurance different?
So dive accident insurance offers medical coverage for diving accidents. So for example, hyperbaric chamber treatments, hospital treatments if needed, and of course, medical evacuation, including air, sea, land evacuation, whatever is needed. Additional benefits under diving accident coverage includes coverage for lost diving gear following a diving accident and things like that. But the main thing of diving accident coverage is it's coverage for your medical needs following a diving accident. Our dive travel programs are offer that exactly, plus all the general travel insurance benefits, such as trip cancellations, coverage for baggage, lost or delayed baggage, non-diving related injuries or sickness if you get into a car accident while you're abroad, or if your trip is canceled because of a hurricane or bad weather at your destination. People might be not able to depart on their trip because of a snow blizzard, even though in their destination it's 85 degrees and sunny.
Okay.
So dive travel insurance is everything you need for diving accident coverage plus travel insurance, whereas diving accident coverage is just your medical coverage for your diving needs.
Okay. Travel insurance policies include a traveler assistance service. So what type of things can they help you with?
We have a 24/7 emergency call center staffed with doctors, nurses, and other agents who specialize in assisting people while they're traveling abroad. Wow. Service or assistance is available in any language. If we don't have a person speaking the language that you need within 30 seconds to a minute, we bring a live translator on the line, and they can assist in any language.
Wow.
Basically, we help. We've seen it all. We help with, of course, diving accidents. People need referrals to hospitals. They need to find a hospital. We need to arrange aerial evacuations from remote locations, including rendezvousing with the liveaboard boat in the middle of nowhere. We've had requests to assist with translations, with prescriptions, return dependents, kids home if you're injured and the kids are traveling with you. Pretty much everything that you can think of, we've helped with. And again, the service is available, of course, 24/7 and is available to all DiveAssure members.
Okay. So if I were going to get sick on a trip, what are the steps that I need to take to make sure that I'm covered on my policy when I go to file a claim?
So there are two things that you need to do. First of all, if you get sick and you need assistance, you call our emergency hotline, and we will assist you with finding the right doctor for you and help you navigate that for you. A lot of times the sickness is not severe, and some people just go to the local doctor or the local ER, get treated if it's not something major, and then they file a claim claiming the expenses they incurred. To do that, you need to, of course, make sure that you keep all the documents and paperwork that you receive from the treating facility. So medical notes, receipts, and things like that. In other scenarios, especially when there are major expenses, we pay service providers directly. So you contact us once you have that issue, or once you've arrived at a hospital. You contact our 24/7 hotline, and we will take it from there. We will be in touch with the billing department of that facility, and we can pay them directly, and prevent you from having to pay out-of-pocket expenses. Of course, it comes in very handy in cases of hyperbaric chamber treatments, where the treatment can cost thousands of dollars. It's not something that you want to pay out of pocket, and that's what we can do for you.
Yeah, and I was also reading on your website that DiveAssure is the only diving insurance provider offering primary insurance as opposed to
Right.
secondary insurance.
So primary is more relevant for Americans, actually. Outside the United States, it doesn't apply, but within the United States, or for Americans, Americans can choose between primary and secondary coverage. Primary means that we don't have to wait for a secondary provider to pay their part, and then we pay the remaining portion. It translates into faster claims process because you file a claim with us and we take care of it, assuming that it's a covered case. And it also allows us to pay directly in real time, because again, we don't have to wait for anyone else to say if they covered this incident or not. It's a big selling point. It's peace of mind. It's ease of mind, and people just usually go for it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about how COVID has changed the way the company is approaching travel insurance today. Did you guys have to make any changes or anything like that once the pandemic hit?
So yeah, definitely. I mean, first of all, we've paid a lot of claims for trip cancellations at the beginning of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. We also helped a lot and basically offered the option to change your coverage dates on the policy free of charge. So if you were booked at a trip back in May 2020 and it was, of course, canceled, once you rebook yourself on another trip, we help by changing the coverage dates to whatever trip you take in the future. That was the first, I guess, 6 months of the pandemic, dealing with claims and changes. Then before, or when we saw that travel is resuming, we realized that in order to get people out traveling, we need to give them a sense of security. And we've basically enhanced our programs to include COVID-related coverages, mm-hmm. To make it so that you feel comfortable traveling. So for example, we offer full trip cancellations, trip cancellation coverage if you get sick with corona before traveling. We also offer quarantine expenses coverage. Wow. If you are out of your country and you're quarantined, there's a mandatory quarantine for 10 days or something like that. Mm-hmm. We cover up to a certain level of expenses. Other things that we cover will be basically, of course, medical treatment for yourself if you contract corona while traveling abroad.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, hospitalization, treatment by physician, the medications, the mandatory quarantine and hotel, and also meals while in mandatory quarantine.
That's right. Those are all expenses
that you guys cover. That is great that you guys do all that. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add about DiveAssure? Or just kind of general philosophy about it? To me, it sounds like a slam dunk. As someone who's been burned before with a vacation rental and didn't buy the trip insurance, I've learned my lesson. But do you have a kind of like a general philosophy when you talk to your friends about why getting insurance, trip insurance and stuff like this is so important?
Well, It's one of those things that you shouldn't leave home without it, especially when you're traveling abroad. You never know. Yes, it costs money. Yes, it's an additional expense on an already trip that you're taking, but it's worth every dollar. When something happens, you do not want to be without it. You're going to end up either having to pay a lot of money out of pocket for things that you didn't prepare for, and also just getting help and assistance with certain things that, if you're in a country that you don't speak the language or you don't know how things work, it's not worth it. We've seen too many people realize that they didn't get the right program for what they needed, things like that, or wanted to get the cheaper program, the cheaper coverage. It's you protect your investment when you buy travel insurance. You protect yourself, you protect your investment, you protect your future sometimes, and it's something that everyone should have. And again, especially with in our industry, where our vacations and trips are not a weekend in Paris, where worst case scenario, you board one of the many flights back home. Sometimes you're in remote locations and there's no help around, and it's important to have.
I don't think I could have said it any better. So, Roy, thanks for joining us today and telling us a little bit about DiveAssure. I think everybody that's going to listen to this call is going to understand the importance and also better understand the benefits of what all you're getting with that additional cost. I mean, you're right. It really is something you don't want to leave home without. So thanks for joining us. And I guess
I agree. Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah. We'll have to check in with you guys next year and see how everything's going over there at DiveAssure. Maybe do another call.
We look forward to it.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you guys on another episode of Inspired by Adventure podcast. Stay safe.
Thanks for tuning into the Inspired by Adventure podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you haven't already, please subscribe through iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. See you next time.